Are your knees in need of a yoga practice that's a little bit kinder to them? Well, this is the one for you. We're not going to touch those knees to the ground, so no excess pressure on the knees, and we're going to have some strengthening stuff in there to help support your knees. I hope you enjoy. If you have got a blanket or a pillow or something a bit softer for the end, that would be really handy. So today we're going to start in the best place, lying down on the mat. So full body comes down to the mat. Can you stretch your arms reasonably far out to the side, palms facing up, snuggle your shoulders underneath you. And maybe you close down the eyes here, just taking a moment to settle before we start to move. Take a deep breath in through the nose, let it out through the mouth. Deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. One last time, in through the nose and out through the mouth. And then just let your breath return to a more natural breath. Still a bit longer than when we're not thinking about it, running around busy in the day. Just keeping your eyes closed and staying in this still space for a moment longer as we really take the time to connect in. Like, you might have been doing something really important and busy before you decided to do this. Let's just take a moment so that you can switch gears a bit. And then either keeping the eyes closed or gently blinking the eyes open, we're going to hug the knees into the chest. Because where better to start a practice that's being kind to the knees with a big hug for the knees. So really squeeze them in, feeling close and all kind of connected and small as you can here in this tiny little ball. And then place one hand on each knee. Maybe take a moment to give a little massage, pat, a little stroke to the knees. And then let's take the knees in some circles. So taking them apart and then together. One hand on each knee as they move and groove in some circles. And then the next time they come together, take them back the other way. As kind of slow or as fast as you like here. I almost find it a way of finding, if I can't tell where my brain's at or what emotions I am feeling, of seeing how fast or slow I move when I start a practice, right? It can tell you a lot. Bring the knees back together. And we're going to place the left foot down to the mat. And the hands are going to come behind the right thigh. And so like squeeze that thigh in towards the body. And then as you take your next inhale, can you reach that right foot up to the ceiling? Flex that foot. But if you look at my leg, it's not coming straight. It doesn't need to come straight. If yours does naturally come straight and that feels good. But remember, we're taking care of the knees here. So anything we can do to not apply undue pressure, I guess, on those little knees, those little bad boys. As you exhale, bend the leg. Press that heel back down towards the bum. Inhale, reach. Lift the leg up. Exhale, bend. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bend. And then this time as we lengthen, we're going to stay there for a bit. So lift that right leg. Flex that foot. And can you concentrate, rather than trying to get that leg even straighter and straighter, pull this thigh in towards you, snuggle those shoulders down. So you're finding a big old stretch down the hamstring, but you're not kind of forcing the knee to go into anywhere in particular. You're keeping it soft. Roll those shoulders back and down to the ground. Take one more deep breath here. And then gently curl that knee back up and just squeeze it in towards the body. And then squeeze it over towards the right. So rather than kind of staying central, it's moving over to the right hand side. And then you're going to feed your right arm up the inside of that right leg, grab a hold of the little toe side of your foot, left hand comes to your left hip, and reach that right foot up towards the ceiling. So a half happy baby here. So this right knee is edging towards my right armpit. So it's coming over to the side, opening up the hip. Keep that foot flexed. Nice. Take one more deep breath here. And then gently release the foot. And bring both knees back into the chest for a little hug. Ooh, a little hug and squeeze. Any noises like mine, welcome. Right foot comes down to the mat. Left knee now squeezing in. Clasp those hands behind your thigh. And as you inhale, we're lifting that left foot up to the sky. Remember, knee does not need to be straight. We're being kind to the knee. Exhale, bend. Can you flex that foot though? Inhale, rise. Exhale, bend. Inhale, rise. Exhale, bend, and this time as we rise, we stay there. Lifting that foot up. And then like before, you've probably got a big old bend like me in your leg. Totally cool. But can you try and pull that thigh in closer towards you? Nice. Snuggle those shoulders back down onto the ground. Take a deep breath. And one more. And then bend this knee. Hug the knee in. That right foot is still on the floor. And take the left knee over to the side slightly. Your left arm coming up the inside, but grabbing a hold of the little toe side of the foot. And then shining that sole of the foot up. Right hand, come onto right hip to kind of anchor you down. Edging this left knee into the armpit. Finding this hip opener. Taking a deep breath here. If your hand is not managing to meet the foot, or that feels uncomfortable, you could put your hand a little further down the leg. That's totally cool. I should have said it on the other side, but you'll know for future. Don't have to grab a hold of the foot. And then gently release this foot down. Now we're going to have a little fun. It might be fun, it might be frustrating. So see how you feel. Hug the back of the thighs. We're going to start to rock and roll. So maybe start slowly, taking some rocks and rolls up and down your spine. A lovely thing to do to kind of feel everything warming up. And especially as adults, not something we tend to do, right? Rolling up and down on our backs. But then can you find a bit more momentum? And we're going to end standing at the top of our mat. So however you need to do this, but maybe you press your feet down and you come all the way up. We're going to end in this forward fold. But please, if you want to shuffle over to your bum, find any way of getting up here, or something much more exciting than mine, please do. We're ending in this forward fold. Keep a big bend in the knees. That's what we're focusing on today, kindness to the knees and not locking them out when we don't need to. So kind of here in this forward fold, what we're trying to do is kind of get our hips more over our heels. And so quite often that means that we start to straighten our legs, because that is a good way of doing it, but it's not necessary. So think about your hips coming forward and moving forward, and you can still have a bend in the knees. Maybe bow down the tip of your head, down towards the ground. And then can you tuck your chin into your chest and roll it all the way up? Nice. Up to stand. Feels different up here. Inhale, rise the hands all the way up. Reach them high. And can you clasp the hands together? Press the palms up to the ceiling. Big inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend over to the right. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend to the left. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, open your elbows, find a cactus shape. And then can you release the hands all the way behind you, clasp them together, lift your chest, find a lift here. Nice. And then release the hands, tuck your chin into your chest and roll your way all the way back down. Back into that forward fold. Lovely. Now we're going to step back to our downward facing dog, but we've got to bend in the knees, okay? So again, if this is normally a place where you straighten out those knees, just be conscious of it before we step back. Stepping right and left foot back to downward facing dog, but keep a big juicy bend in the knees and see how that feels. So big old bend in the knees, spread fingers, and then starting to lift the hips. You might find that then this feels a lot better with this bend in the knees. So take one more breath here. And then we're going to step our right foot through between the hands, ground that back foot and rise all the way up to warrior two. Now, because we're knee focused again today, and this is great strengthening for the knees, these standing postures where we've got that bent knee, but really pay attention. So you either want it knee slightly behind the ankle or stacked directly on top. Where it's going to get sore and not great is when it's going over the ankle. So bring it all the way on top or even a little bit behind. See how it feels. It will be different for kind of every person in your body, or in each body. So figure it out for you, and have faith in how your body feels. You don't have to look like, I don't know, people do on Instagram, right? It's different for all of us, for every single one of us in our bodies. Roll the shoulders back, hands out to the side. And then can you flip this front palm, reach it forward and come all the way back to that reverse warrior. We're keeping that knee the same. So notice if you're automatically trying to straighten that knee, keep that bend. Left hand goes down the back leg. And then bring your hands back to warrior two. You're going to turn that back foot so that we're in a bit of a lunge. And then step this back foot all the way to the front. We're going to find a chair pose, but with feet apart, so we can pay a bit more attention to the knees. So feet are hip width. Send the bum back. You can have your arms up here. You can bring your hands to heart center. But can you concentrate here? When you look down, you should be able to see your toes. That's when you know your knees are going too far and it's not going to be good for you. Press that bum out, lift that chest, make sure you can see those toes, arms high or at heart center for 3, for 2, for 1, and then stretch it all the way back up. Yes. Clasp the hands together, press the palms up towards the ceiling. Inhale, rise, lift it tall. Exhale, tip to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, tip to the left. Inhale, rise back to center. Exhale, elbows wide, cactus shape. Roll those shoulders back, lift the chest, and then release the hands back behind you where they find a clasp. Lift that chest high. Nice. Make sure while you're standing here in all these poses that you can feel a little bend in your knees. If you're like me, I've got a big tendency to hyperextend, so I massively straighten out my legs and put a lot of pressure on my knees. Make sure that while we're doing all of these standing things that aren't necessarily concerning the knees, that you've just got a bit of lightness there. And then release the hands, tuck chin into chest, roll it all the way back down. Back to that forward fold. We're going to step left foot back first, right foot back to downward facing dog. Keep that bend in the knees. Who knows, this may become your new downward dog because you might feel how much higher you can press the bum, how much more you can press your chest through and behind you. And then let's step left foot through between the hands, ground that back foot, toes facing the side, and open out to that warrior two. Nice. So again, let's just pay attention for a second. Knee stacked over ankle or slightly behind. And it's also, so it's not caving in. That's going to kind of cause pain and not be great for your knee. It's like, if anything, going out towards your little toe side of the foot. Okay, so like it's not completely going out to the side, making you roll onto the edge of your foot, but it's coming out, little toe, tracking ahead. Spread those arms out. Relax the shoulders away from the ears, and then flip the front palm, reach it forward, take it all the way back. Reverse warrior. Nice, keep that bend in the leg, but do just take a check. Is it going over? Keep it over exactly or slightly behind that ankle. And then bring your hands back to warrior two. Turn onto the back toes as you lift the arms and find a lunge towards the top of the mat. And then step that back foot, feet are hip width, and sit into that chair once more. Press the bum back, look down, check you can see those toes, and then roll those shoulders back, lift the chest. Remember, your hands can always come here if that's a lot on the shoulders. Or bring your hands wider. Do what you need to do to make it feel good. For 3, for 2, for 1. And then this time we're going to take the arms wide and fold all the way down. So stick that bum out as you fold all the way down to the mat. And then we're just going to plant the hands and we're coming back to a seat. So just stepping the feet back and coming down to a seat. Ah, it feels great, right? Because we've not really touched our knees to the ground. No, we haven't, other than that. Other than that little step. Okay, so we're going to lay our legs out long. We're going to cross the right foot over the left. So that left leg is out long. Again, remember to keep this softness. Notice if you're automatically really straightening that leg out. Keep a little softness in the knee. And then we're going to lift that right arm all the way up and back and hug the right knee with the left elbow. Find a twist here. Up on your tiptoes of your fingers, this is not a thing, up on the tips of your fingers with your right hand, because you don't want to press weight into it. You're twisting from the center, so you're not relying on that hand to twist you around a little further. Really sit up tall. Take one more breath here. And then gently come back to center. And just switch the legs. So that right leg goes out long, left foot steps over. And as much as possible, make sure that that foot is to the floor. So the sole of that left foot is really pressing down to the mat, to the floor, whatever surface you're on. Left arm rises, really reaches all the way back. As we're on fingertips, right elbow wraps around left knee, find the twist. Those right toes, so the extended leg, toes are flexed. Keep that energy, but remember about that knee. And just notice if you're really straightening out that knee, causing it kind of extra pressure. Really sit up tall. Find that twist from the core, from the center. And then gently bring yourself back to center. And just take both legs out. Step the feet to the floor as wide as your mat. Hands behind you, and just send your knees from side to side. Gently, slowly, just working the opposite way. Now we're going to head down to our final resting pose. This is where I've got a blanket in mind. So if you've got a blanket, a cushion, you could use a bolster. Kind of the bigger and fluffier the thing, the better. So whatever item you have. And I'm just going to slide it behind my knees. And then gently roll it back. And it's just a little extra cushioning for your knees. I guess helpful to kind of just draw attention sometimes to the places that we're trying to relax or be mindful of. And so what better way to end with a nice little cushion for the back of the knees, a little bit more, I don't know, they're getting some like extra loving, I guess. So just snuggle your shoulders underneath you. Find a space that feels comfortable and come back to that breath. In through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. If you've got more time to spend, then stay here and chill out. If you've got to get up and get on with things, then that's cool too. Just know that always having some quiet time at the end of a yoga practice is just so valid. I think that we can get confused sometimes when we think that yoga is just stretching and relaxing. Why do you need that extra time? It's so useful. It helps your body repair and restore and get ready for all of the things that we know life throws at us. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, have a lovely rest of your day. Please subscribe. Goodbye.